The first thing Elena Carter noticed about the man sitting across from her was his shoes, scuffed, practical, and very out of place in the candlelit downtown restaurant where a glass of water cost more than his entire outfit. The second thing she noticed was the silence. Elena, CEO of a global logistics company, was used to commanding rooms, closing billion-dollar deals, and being admired from a distance. Blind dates were already a compromise, this one felt like a mistake. "So," she said, glancing at her watch, "my assistant said you're a single dad." The man smiled, unoffended. "Yeah, full-time. My daughter's 7. Elena nodded politely, though her thoughts were elsewhere. A babysitter probably costs him a fortune, she thought. Why did I agree to this? Her friend had insisted. Just one dinner. He's kind. You need kind. But kindness didn't show up on balance sheets. It didn't save companies. And it definitely didn't belong on Elena's carefully curated future. I work construction, he added, as if reading her mind. Mostly renovations. Some emergency response work. She forced a thin smile. That's admirable. The gap between them felt vast, private jets and bedtime stories, boardrooms and packed lunches. She caught herself scrolling her phone under the table, already planning her polite exit. His name was Mark. He didn't brag, didn't flirt aggressively. He listened, asked about her work with genuine curiosity, not awe. When she dismissed her own achievements as just business, he shook his head. Someone has to keep the world moving, he said simply. The comment lingered longer than she expected. Dinner ended quickly. Elena stood, extending a professional handshake. It was nice meeting you, Mark. Likewise, he replied, eyes warm, no disappointment in his voice. As she walked toward the valet, guilt pricked her, but not enough to turn back. 2 weeks later, Elena's private driver called in sick. Annoyed but impatient, she decided to drive herself to a late-night charity board meeting across town. Rain hammered the windshield as traffic snarled into chaos. Then, impact. Metal screamed. Airbags exploded. The world spun, then went dark. When Elena opened her eyes, smoke filled the car. Pain seared through her leg. Her door was crushed inward, jammed shut. Panic rose fast and fierce. She fumbled for her phone. No signal. The rain intensified. Water pooled around the tires. She could smell fuel. Help, she shouted, her voice swallowed by the storm. Moments later, or maybe minutes, she heard a voice. Ma'am, stay awake. I'm here. Through the shattered window, she saw a familiar face, rain-soaked and focused. Mark, she whispered, disbelief cutting through fear. I was driving home from a night job, he said, already assessing the wreck. Don't move. Your leg's pinned. He moved with calm precision, grabbing tools from his truck, hydraulic jacks, a pry bar, first aid supplies. What? How do you have all this? She gasped. Search and rescue training, he replied. Before construction. Long story. Sirens wailed faintly in the distance, but Mark didn't wait. He stabilized the car, cut the battery, spoke to her steadily, grounding her when pain threatened to pull her under. Look at me, he said gently. You're not alone. With careful strength, he freed her leg, splinted it, and shielded her from the rain as firefighters arrived. As they lifted her onto a stretcher, Elena clutched his sleeve. You saved my life, she said, tears mixing with rain. Mark squeezed her hand, just doing what anyone should. But she knew that wasn't true. Recovery was slow. The fracture healed, but something else shifted too, something deeper. Mark visited once, bringing a handmade card from his daughter. Elena stared at the uneven letters, her chest tight. I misjudged you, she admitted quietly. I thought kindness was small. He smiled softly. It's not loud. That's all. Weeks later, Elena made a decision that shocked her board. She launched a company-wide initiative funding emergency response training and community rescue teams, hiring people like Mark, valuing skills that never showed up on resumes. And then, one evening, she invited Mark to dinner again. This time, she left her phone in the car. They talked, really talked. About loss, about fear, about how success feels empty when no one's there to see the real you. Months passed. Slowly, naturally, something grew, not built on status or rescue fantasies, but respect. One night, as they watched his daughter fall asleep on the couch between them, Elena realized the truth that no boardroom ever taught her. The strongest people aren't the ones who sit at the top. They're the ones who show up when everything falls apart. And sometimes, the blind date you almost walked away from is the reason you get to walk at all.